political judo chop.
Live from beautiful Monash University, it's the Pater Cigarette Struggle Hour, featuring the Leah Roboto Dancers, the McGee Chorus Line, musical guest Three-Toed Bailey, plus a visit from special guest Mr. Tummy. And now your host, Laura Webb.
Good evening. You join us at your own peril. And the federal election has finally been called in the wake of the 2025 federal budget, the carcass of which we can pick over now. In a departure from previous offerings, this year's budget notably includes a two-step tax cut for Australia's low-income earners. The $17 billion tax slash should leave Aussie taxpayers with a tax cut of $268 from mid-2026 and $538 the following financial year. Oh boy, I already know how I'm going to spend my extra dosh. The tax cut is the crock in a shoe rack full of Birkenstocks for Labor's election budget lure, as they try to diffuse the Liberals' long-time fictional mantra that the average Australian pays higher taxes under Labor. Let's take a peep at the budget's broader winners and losers, not to be mistaken for the 2010's Channel 7 Aussie drama, which I actually loved. The biggest winners? Giant pandas, who were granted $3.8 million over 5 years to support their stay in Adelaide Zoo. The biggest losers? Foreign property investors, who've been slapped with a 2-year ban on buying existing Australian homes. And no, this isn't an early April Fool's joke. That starts tomorrow. This is serious stuff. In other election promises, more than $8 billion has been put into Medicare to decrease doctors' pockets and fill ours with cheap prescriptions. Put simply, these changes to the PBS mean I don't have to worry about falling pregnant and being broke at the same time. Depending on the election outcome, student debt could be slashed by 20%, turning my $72,000 HECS into $57,000 HECS. Whoa, that's more than a $10,000 difference. Hey, life really is easy under Albanese. And for young home buyers, the Help to Buy scheme has been expanded, making it easier for someone to buy a home. Not me, but someone. Despite all of this, like a lazy saxophone player, the Liberals haven't changed their tune. Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor stated the coalition will not support these tax changes and that the budget confirms there are deficits as far as the eye can see. However, Labor's tax cut plans and Australia's deficit hardly shifting may prove that the Liberals should go to Specsavers and have their eyes checked. So what are the Liberals' plans? Word is they're shit. I don't know. They haven't made them up yet. What do you think this is? Sky News After Dark? Meanwhile, figures published by the World Population Review indicate an alarming drop in the rates of happiness in Australia. I personally don't believe in mental health, for obvious reasons. But in an effort to pander to the sad sacks among you, we forced our smiliest correspondent, Emma, onto the street to gauge the mood of the Prozac public.
Whatever happened to our happy little Vegemites? Australia has dropped out of the top 10 happiest countries, and data shows that it's the under 30s that are letting us down. But what could possibly be wrong? Are you happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that I am.
Yeah. I'm super happy.
Yeah, pretty happy. Oh, so happy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Probably like an 8.
Probably a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
Wait, 3 is bad.
True.
A million.
A million?
Yeah.
If you could compare yourself to 1 year ago today, are you happier or sadder?
Happier. On a serious note, yeah, I'd say I am happier.
Yeah, I'd say I'm happier. Yeah.
Probably happier, yes.
Well, after a long day of hard-hitting journalism, it's clear we'll be back in the top 10 in no time. Sorry, Mexico.
One thing proven to turn many Australians' sunny days to grey is the monotonous plonkery of election campaigning. As if our politicians couldn't debase the office of Parliament any further. The two majors have been diligently working their ways into the malleable minds of our youth by way of some bizarre new engagement tactics. Bailey explains.
With the Aussie government edging the country with the prospect of an election, the two major parties are going head-to-head in their advertising campaign. And things are getting a little weird.
At first, we didn't know what to do with all the money.
What the hell was that? With the 2025 election being the first in recorded history where the number of millennials and Gen Zs outweigh the previously oppressive and slightly problematic grasp of the baby boomers, political parties have been doing their best to relate to the youths of today. Whereas once upon a time, PMs would scully out of beer, say a swear, or go missing at sea to help garner political support, in the 21st century, politicians have turned to brain-rotting memetics to shove their collective ideologies down the throats of children, and it appears to be working. In December last year, the Libs TikTok account had approximately 278,000 views per video, beating out Labor, who only had 6,000. But what can only be considered as a meme dick measuring contest, Labor has clapped back with ads like this.
I have investigative media journalist Bailey Johnston to talk more about this story. What is the crux of this issue?
Yeah, well, the whole thing's kind of cooked. It seems that the Gen Z interns have gotten a bit out of hand and they've lost touch with what they're supposed to be doing.
That's not fair on the young interns. They're probably getting paid no money and might be getting mildly bullied. They've got to have some fun.
Right, but I mean, there's fun and there's dumb. Like, I was investigating this story and I found a t-shirt that the Labor Party posted on their socials showing I love beer, eating meat and Medicare. And as you can imagine, the reaction that the public had was not exactly the ha-ha funny it was intended to be.
What do you mean? That seems pretty funny.
Well then, you're going to love this, because after seeing it, I got a bit excited and drafted a few political t-shirt designs of my own.
Oh, wow, you've really,
Yes, so, with the Liberals loving their mountains of coal, I've started off by, just really showing their love for it. We've got little Dutton over here, we've got the kids underneath. I just think it really shows what the Liberals stand for.
I don't like the blue.
That's okay, because I've got this one here. It's a nice green colour. You know how it is every election day. You've got your red guys fighting with your blue guys, and all the while the green guy's sitting down crying in the corner. I really wanted to channel preferential voting chic with this one.
See, I'm a big fan of the sobbing guy, but the cut isn't great.
That's okay, I've got one more design here. This one is for your true Australian who wants to show off their nationalistic pride for the trumpets of patriots.
I'll take it in black, please. Bailey brand t-shirts are available now via our website for 50% off with the code SLIPPERYBABY, or 100% off should you make it past our samurai guards. Moving forth now, last week a document containing a laundry list of political projects slipped out of Papua New Guinea party rooms and into the hands of the Australian media. Golly gosh, it wasn't quite what the world was expecting. Despite existing as an Australian territory until the 70s, our Pacific cousins are oft overlooked by the uppity media class. Luckily, we managed to stretch our pizza budget enough to send media darling Leo Roboto to Port Moresby to suss out this piece on PNG.
My own personal affection for Papua New Guinea began at age 5. Then for a while, nothing. Until last week, as our ABC was leaked a 70-point list of government plans to kickstart the PNG economy. The proposals seen by the ABC have been dismissed by the commentariat as overambitious, but I couldn't disagree more. And I will, because this list is not to be missed. Capitalising on the global Formula One explosion, the plans included building an F1 circuit, purchasing a luxury island with the help of a Congolese rap to create what we've all longed for, Bali 2. Just try to drag yourself out of these beach clubs. Oh wait, you can't, because you're having too much fun learning about the all-new Papuan Space Agency. Plans also included the creation of a new Silicon Valley precinct that would pioneer post-quantum cryptography. And now you know nobody loves post-quantum cryptography more than me, so rest assured I'll be right there in the quantum crypt from day one. PM Marape defended the plans, calling them
Mid to long-term plans.
linked to this year's Golden Independence anniversary. And while I'd love to see the Mount Hagen Memorial F1 circuit speed-built like a Chinese hospital, it might be best to put the rest of these pie-in-the-sky plans back in the oven. But then again, if they can run an NRL team, maybe the space agency isn't that far off. This is a tentatively excited Leo Roboto reporting from Port Moresby.
And while the Papua New Guinean Border Authority continues to hold Ms. Roboto in indefinite detention, you'll see the rest of us right back here after these ads. Before I had my sense of wonder surgically removed, I would travel an hour outside of Melbourne for the smell of manure and moist logs of corn. And I'm not talking farms, I'm talking country fairs. The hit cousins of the Royal Melbourne Show have been having issues as of late, with ever-lowering attendance and volunteer involvement. The question emerges, if these country shows fall down, what will happen to the communities that host them? To discuss this issue, we thought it was time to dust off and bring to the desk our country bumpkin Toby to explain.
Thanks for having me, Laura.
Now Toby, this issue is a complex one. What is the explanation behind it?
Well, Laura, I think what you'll find is that, the issue is that red tape and bureaucracy is holding volunteers and vendors back, which is compounded by the decreasing share of Aussies who live in rural areas. This is hit after hit after hit on rural communities.
Oh please. The decrease in the share of Australians living in rural communities is due to population growth and migration in major cities outpacing the population growth of rural communities.
But if you acknowledge that rural populations are increasing, albeit slower, then you must admit that something, like paperwork requirements, are driving down volunteers.
Can't it just be that times are changing?
But the issue of a lack of volunteers persists. Shows are so desperate for volunteers that some have seen a years-long waiting list turned into a 10-minute acceptance.
The decrease is thought to be caused by a generational shift in cost of living pressures. When the threat to local shows was reported in October, it was argued that people are not joining service clubs like previous generations, hence the lack of volunteers.
But if we start here, I mean, where do we stop? Huh? Are they going to make us put airbags in the Dodgem cars? Add breathing holes to Zorb balls? Actually start tightening all the bolts on the swirly-whirly death roller coaster?
Wait, do you mean to tell me you haven't been properly tightening the bolts?
What I'm saying is it's a slippery-dippery slope. And one day soon enough, we're going to have to provide a 3-point harness for it.
But safety is important. Take the working with children's check. If somebody at your show is complaining about needing to get one, they probably shouldn't be let near a show all about family fun.
Yeah, Laura, it's much more than confusing than complicated, I'd say. Really, it's tricky.
Thank you, Toby. It's good news for Catholics this week.
Thank you, Laura.
Let's try and pull the program back together now as we check up on a developing story coming out of the home country. It's good news this week for Catholics and fans of prominent religious leaders alike, as last week, friend of the show Pope Francis was sent home from hospital in a stable condition. Unfortunately, this news is a little less good for our Hades correspondent, who we've had stationed at the gates of hell awaiting the Pope's arrival since early March. We've got on the line now via video link. How's it looking down there?
Well, Laura, the iconic Lynx Africa was discontinued last week, so you can rest assured hell has never smelt worse. And it's bloody hot, Laura. Thanks for asking.
I understand there was a great disappointment among the devil community when the Vatican announced His Holiness was making a healthy turn.
Yeah, Savin had a massive multi that hinged on Franco's arrival, so he's in a pretty bad space mentally right now. In the meantime though, we've had high-profile new arrivals showing up here like El Salvadorian deportees.
Oh yeah, like who?
Sandwich pioneer George Foreman fought his way in on March 21st. The nail-filled head of Marty Sheargold's penis flip-flopped its way in last week. Evil Santa finally lost his battle with brain cancer overnight, so he's here too. Let's see, who else is here? Although his body remains on Earth, the soul of John Howard showed up in a mailroom in an express post parcel. Now that guy is all class.
All right, all right. I think we've got everything we needed to hear. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura.
Melbourne City's festering mould patch, known to some as Docklands, has development plans for a new set of high-rise apartments. Before these TMU towers shoot up into the sky, we shipped Alex down to the harbour to get a sense for the sea.
A fleet of heritage-listed vessels here in Docklands is under imminent threat of displacement. The 3 boats docked in Victoria Harbour will have nowhere to go once Lend-Lease's Colin Wharf project enters its latest phase. 900 new apartment units. Development Victoria has dropped the anchor on negotiations with the ship's volunteer maintainers, but one group hasn't had the opportunity to have its voice heard: the boats. So I understand that you have until the end of the year to set your sails elsewhere?
Goodness, it is an absolute tragedy. As the replica of one of the first ships to ferry white people here to Batmania, I contend the council ought to pay me the respect I deserve.
Oh, I can't believe it. My captain's already abandoned me to settle in one of those apartments, and now I'm being told I'm going to be portless in 9 months. What's a boat to do? Oh.
Picture sickly little steam tug Wattle out at sea fending for herself. I capsized at the thought of it.
While the future of the fleet remains unclear, prospective property owners are already licking their lips at the soon-to-be dock-free landlands.
Boys will be boys. Thank you, Alex. That story is definitely making some waves. Newsy, information-filled waves. Yes, waves. Enjoy the next 2 minutes free of struggle, brought to you by local Melbourne businesses. And they lived happily ever after. Oh, hello. I was just reading my favourite book, Grug Gets Cancelled. Speaking of getting cancelled, it's time for an apology. Not from us though, we never make mistakes.
After the release of novel Daddy's Little Toy, Australian author Lauren Teslin Mastrosa has received massive backlash from book lovers, and those with an ounce of common sense, everywhere for depicting gut-curdling grooming as an erotic relationship between an 18-year-old girl and her father's best friend. A text so chock full of map fantasy, it had its authors clamped in irons for the past week over charges relating to child exploitation material. It got us thinking here at The Struggle, which is hard to do, about the many other authors who are long overdue in an apology for their novels. First on the chopping block, Colleen Hoover. No book in particular for this one, pretty much everything she's done with her career, from Verity to fostering the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni drama, has left a permanent scar on my mind. Next up, E.L. James for, you guessed it, 50 Shades of Grey. More specifically, however, for the line, Christian Grey, you are the cure for cancer. Gillian Flynn for Gone Girl, forever making me believe that faking my death was a realistic breakup method. And how could I ever forget Bret Easton Ellis forever greenlighting the movie adaptation of American Psycho, leading to the blow-up of self-indulgent, creatine-pumping, emotionally unavailable Sigma Boys.
Recently, the universally rainy and smelly experience of school camps has come under threat as underpaying teachers apparently isn't cool anymore. Alyssa ventured out into the wild in an effort to conserve the endangered school camp species.
With rising cost of living prices and teachers' increasing unwillingness to work for free, we've got a new endangered species, school camps. I'm here to find the last remaining school camps to rediscover those elements we all miss so much. Being trapped in a rural location with your peers and soggy salad sandwiches and even sour straps. Through this dense wilderness, will I find an elusive school camp? Or will I just find teachers wondering why they pay union fees to spend time away from their families, confiscating lollies and telling kids to shut up past 8 p.m? Camp Kangarooby in Victoria's southwest has said that since 2023, 10 schools, mainly from Melbourne, have stopped coming to the camp. Sorry kids, no camp this year. Labor government said so. With school camps becoming less common, kids are missing out on a crucial developmental stage. Personally, I haven't been to a school camp since year 8, and I turned out fine. But come on, what could they even be missing? Being on a constant sugar high? We've got pills for that. How will we ever get into university without being on a suspiciously low zip line or falling on their peers during low ropes? Or even experiencing a bit of uni budget with low quality meals? It's a bit tough. Must be the teacher pay rise. School camps play a crucial role in reducing anxiety, social development and team building. If they don't have these camps, they'll turn to other methods to develop these skills, and what type of world is that? Children in K-holes joining extremist self-help groups and social networking through Hinge rather than a good old school camp.
Schools. Aren't they great? Teaching you the important things. English, maths and woke nonsense. Our resident movie critic and cultural analyst Dylan seized the desk to fight the mind virus head on.
Well, well, well. Disney has released yet another live-action remake that no one asked for. After releasing a remake of Pinocchio that was as soulless as a wooden puppet, and a Little Mermaid remake that made me want to drown myself, Disney has had the fantastic idea to sully the image of their first full-length animated film, Snow White. A Disney classic that has had many retellings. They think we'll just show up to anything, huh? Cinemas are as empty as this movie. You know you have a winner when a movie with a budget of $330 million scores 42% on Rotten Tomatoes and a respectable 1.6 on IMDb. The film has barely cracked 100 million globally in its opening weekend. Talk about a flop. You know that a movie is going to be amazing when the lead actress absolutely despises the source material. Rachel Zegler labelled the original extremely dated, and instead of seeking true love, Snow White's goal is to become the strong, independent leader she knows she can be. What's next, fighting for equal pay? It's bad enough that Disney is willing to release soulless reimaginings of our favourite fairy tales, but of course they're ruined by wokeness. See, not even a random horse in The Little Mermaid was safe. Want to know why Snow White, who is named after a blizzard in this movie, is called the fairest of them all? Because this movie's filled with communist propaganda. I wish I was kidding. Snow White's autocrat parents ran a socialist kingdom. Actually, that makes sense. Communism can only work in a fairy tale. Moreover, when you think of Snow White the Seven Dwarfs, which 7 characters do you think of? The dwarfs? Disney didn't think so. Remember when audiences were assaulted with these images from the set? The movie is Snow White the Seven Dwarfs, not the 7 diversity hires. Thankfully, Disney came to their senses and replaced real actors with these things. They also substituted the word dwarf for magical creatures. Is this the best an $180 billion corporation can do? And before you ask, no, I have not seen this movie. You think I'd spend my money on watching Snow Woke? Absolutely not. I've had it with modern Disney.
Isn't it refreshing to have our usual onslaught of left-wing smut broken up with a bit of common sense? You know, it's not so common these days. Not many people know that. But one thing we do know is that it's time for us to go. So from all of us on The Struggle, it's good night and good luck.
Yeah.
Hello, Miss Roboto. Foreign Minister Penny Wong here. Just writing to inform you that we will not be taking efforts to release you from detention captivity due to comments made recently surrounding, well, you know quite well what you said. Best wishes, Penny Wong, and all of the team at the Department of Foreign Affairs.